This is the newsroom for today, Wednesday, April 14, 2021. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV, NTN, and Tarsi TV in Bartica. In the headlines, a 74-year-old woman is dead and 6 families are homeless following a fire in Sophia.
I don't know who's going to fix it, who's going to be replacing that. But that could be replaced, but my wife died. She can't be replaced.
The Guyana shore base is nearing completion of a $16 million expansion project of its Houston East Bank Demerara facility. Grey boys again freed of Courtney Crumb Ewing's murder. COVID-19 cases are on the rise in Georgetown on the East Bank and East Coast of Demerara. And in sport, basketball coach Junior Hercules is confident Guyanese ready for World Cup pre-qualifiers starting on Thursday, and Sir Clive Lloyd takes legal action against the Guyana Chronicle for a misleading article. With the news, I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us. We started by telling you that a 74-year-old woman died on Wednesday, assumingly from smoke inhalation, after a mid-morning fire ravaged her neighbor's house at squatting area B Fields of Fire. The fire has also left 6 families homeless. Sheena Henry has the details.
Dead is Vancy Hodge of Beefield Sophia, Greater Georgetown. According to the woman's husband, Leon James, she remained asleep in her bedroom during the early stages of the fire, from which thick clouds of smoke bellowed. She was subsequently evacuated. James noted that at the time, she was breathing fine but had already inhaled smoke. Hodge was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital by relatives, but reportedly died while en route to the medical facility.
My wife died. So I don't know what's the next move from that. But I would be grateful if some sort of authority or somebody could come in, because the whole one side is damaged. I don't know who's going to fix it, who's going to be replacing that. But that could be replaced, but my wife died. She can't be replaced.
Meanwhile, the fire has also left 6 families homeless and counting their losses. Although the fire is suspected to have started from a lit kerosene stove, uncertainty remains. 21-year-old Olivia Griffith, a single mother of a 3-year-old and 4-month-old, was returning home from the clinic when she heard the news. By the time she reached home, everything was unfortunately destroyed by the fire. Her cousin, 19-year-old Zenobia White, explained that she was at work when she received a call from her mother relating the news.
I even started to cry. I asked my boss to leave my work to come home. And when I reach home, I see everything flat, everything, all my savings, all my things that I bought, new stuff that I didn't even use yet, everything burned to ashes. And now I have nothing, I have to start all over again. So I would glad for the help if anybody willing to help.
Another relative, 32-year-old Dion Kelman, was also at work when her neighbor visited her workplace to deliver the news.
My fiance and I tell him to go home and check, and I call him back. He said, yeah, everything burned flat on the ground. I'm a mother of 3 children. My son common entrance, book, everything gone flat. Savings, everything gone. Nothing is safe.
She is the mother of 12-year-old, 11-year-old, and 8-year-old boys. For the newsroom, I am Sheena Henry.
High Court Judge Justice Sandil Kasoon on Wednesday dismissed the murder charge against Reagan Rodriguez, called Grey Boy, who was accused of murdering political activist Courtney Crumb Ewing. Fariza Hanif joins us now.
On Monday last, Reagan Rodriguez, called Grey Boy, appeared before Justice Kasoon and pleaded not guilty to the charge, which alleged that on March 10, 2015, he murdered Courtney Crumb Ewing at the 3rd Avenue Diamond New Scheme on the East Bank of Demerara. The state was represented by prosecutors Tyra Backer and Lisa Cave, while Rodriguez was represented by attorney-at-law Adrian Thompson. On Wednesday, Thompson made a no-case submission on the grounds that the prosecution failed to prove its case because of insufficient evidence. The judge agreed and noted that there was no evidence in the case against Rodriguez. The state was relying on evidence that the .32 pistol, which was used to kill Crumb Ewing, was found at Rodriguez's Riverview, Rumfeld, Georgetown residence. But Attorney Thompson had challenged the testimonies of several police officers on the grounds that they fabricated their stories against his client. In this regard, Justice Kasoon noted that the state speculated that it was Rodriguez who used the gun to kill Crumb Ewing. Justice Kasoon described the prosecution's case as tenuous and based purely on speculation. As such, the judge urged the jury to return a not guilty verdict. Rodriguez broke down in tears after he heard the judge's decision. The bullet-riddled body of Crumb Ewing was found on 3rd Avenue Diamond New Scheme. The 40-year-old was shot twice to the temple, once to the back of the head, and twice to the stomach. The police in a statement had stated that the political activist was accosted by 4 men in a car, one of whom discharged several rounds, hitting him about the body. The political activist was well known for his one-man protests. Minutes before he was gunned down, he was reportedly heard via a bullhorn urging residents of the neighborhood to vote against the then ruling PPPC government. A few years ago, Rodriguez was charged with the same offense, but he was released in September 2016 after Magistrate Judy Latchman accepted the no-case submission filed by Attorney Thompson. In her ruling then, Magistrate Latchman had said that while she was satisfied that the gun, which was used to shoot Crum Ewing, was found at the home of the accused, the evidence offered by the prosecution did not implicate Rodriguez in the actual murder. Rodriguez, however, was re-arrested on April 14, 2017 for the same offense, following instructions by the Director of Public Prosecutions for the investigation to be reopened. For the Newsroom, I'm Fariza Hanif.
Now, 6 days after being shot by her brother-in-law, transgender woman, 21-year-old Mark McLean, is now forced to spend her days enduring excruciating pain. McLean was born a man but identifies as a woman and uses her sexual identity to engage in sex work to take care of the woman she lives with. Kurt Campbell has our story.
Stress, much pain right now.
Known across the social media landscape as Home Alone for her dramatization of several popular musical hits, Mark McLean has a message for other trans women. That message is for them to be careful. McLean lived with her now pregnant girlfriend and the girlfriend's brother at Leopold Street, Georgetown. During an interview with the Newsroom on Wednesday, she said that although the April 8, 2021 shooting incident stemmed from a confrontation she had with her girlfriend, she was shot by her girlfriend's brother largely because of her sexual identity.
I get shoot. When I get blackouts, so that's why I know when I reach the hospital, until I done the surgery and stuff, this is when I know I get shoot. No, but me girl had a little target, and he come and lash me in my head with a wood, and I try to run, and then he go for a gun and shoot me. But we they having the vibe, we had a little target, like he just don't like trans women or whatsoever it is. Yeah.
McLean claims that she was shot once, though the fragments from the bullet caused her to be wounded in several places in the region of her upper thigh and buttocks. 8 of the fragments have been removed, but 1 remains in McLean's testicles. McLean spent 4 days in the hospital and had to undergo surgery. She claimed that the impact from the shot affected her hip. She also collapsed after she was shot and only woke up in the hospital. McLean has since returned to the home.
He shoot one in the air first, and then he shoot me. But I didn't get shot, I fall down as I get it here, right? Cause like the bullets them is one shot I get, but the bullets them catch me all over my body. It's a big gun. Yeah, so the bullet catch me all over my body. That's how I end up getting 9 shots. But I still wanted the seeds.
You got a chance to see it when they took it out?
Yeah, I didn't get to see, but when I come out of the hospital, I feeling it right now. It day inside.
The police are said to be investigating the incident, but the man who fired at McLean is believed to have fled the country. A stressed McLean wrapped up the interview on Wednesday, telling her trans friends to be careful.
What's the feeling like?
Like I couldn't walk, man. Too much pain. Yeah. I tell him the same thing. Just be careful. Yeah.
We tell you now that Guyanese fashion designer Marcus Anthony Singh was found stabbed to death in Trinidad on Tuesday. Trinidad police said they were called into the apartment in El Dorado at around 18:30 by one of Singh's roommates. The roommate said he arrived home and found the 27-year-old face down, clad in his underwear and a bra. He said he turned Singh's body to see if he was alive, but found no signs of life and called the police and the ambulance. Trinidad media reported that Singh was stabbed multiple times to the back. 40-year-old Randall Bacchus, called Killer, who was held by the police as a suspect in the ongoing investigation into the execution-style killing of Ricardo Paper Shorts Fagundes, was on Wednesday charged with damage to property. Bacchus appeared before Chief Magistrate Ann McLennan at the Georgetown Magistrates Court and denied that on April 9 at the Brickdam Police Station, Georgetown, he unlawfully and maliciously damaged a windshield on a motor vehicle bearing registration number PYY 9785, valued $24,561. He was also charged with damaging a triangular glass on the said vehicle, valued $32,000. He was represented by attorney at law Damien De Silva and was released on $5,000 bail. Bacchus surrendered to the police on April 6, just a few hours after the police issued a wanted bulletin for him. Last Friday, Bacchus was released from custody after being held for more than 72 hours as the police probed the murder of Fagundes. He was released on $100,000 station bail along with reporting conditions. The police alleged that while Bacchus was being escorted from the Brigham Georgetown lockups, he damaged the police vehicle. Fagundes, who was a popular gold dealer and biker, was riddled with bullets on March 21, 2021 on Main Street, Georgetown, moments after he exited the Palm Court nightclub. Still ahead on the newsroom, the Guyana shore base is nearing completion of a $16 million expansion project, and COVID-19 cases are on the rise in Georgetown on the east bank and east coast of Demerara.
The US $16 million project, already months in, when completed, will see the construction of 2 more berths for the mooring of vessels when they are not at sea. Those new berth additions will accommodate heavy lifting in oil and gas, said the minister within the Public Infrastructure Ministry, Deodat Indar. The construction will be utilizing an open cell sheet pile design, patented by P&D Engineers Inc., a U.S. consultancy engineering firm. Even so, the minister noted that construction is being completed by Guyanese.
As you understand, over in the new construction, they're using technology, what they call open cell. I've had a presentation on what open cell construction is, how they are building the sheet piling in a particular way. It's patented construction technology, and it's been used in Guyana. Right? It's new age technology for board construction, and it's been used in Guyana, and I'm happy to see it being employed here. Again, local contractors are building it out. Although it was designed by exports abroad, the local people are building it out.
The open source pile design provides a high load capacity and requires minimal sheet pile toe embedment. It is easily modified for increased loading or unforeseen conditions and accommodates long-term settlement, the minister said.
So I am pleased with the development that I'm seeing here. I understand by the end of October that project will finish, board 3 and 4, which will allow Guyana to do the heavy lifts. As you know, right now heavy lifts have been done in Chaguaramas or Galeota in Trinidad, and all of the services associated with those heavy lifts, whether it's transportation, crane services, logistics, brokerage, all that is done in Trinidad and then put on vessels, and then they go straight offshore. With this development now, it will happen in Guyana to go into Guyanese waters. And we can pride ourselves with that.
It was explained that with the additional new berths, the Gisby Wharf can extend their capacity to handle 4 platform supply vessels simultaneously. Later, the company is expected to expand further to accommodate commercial vessels as well. For the newsroom, I am Shakima Day.
Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony on Wednesday revealed that Guyana continues to see an increase in hospitalization for positive COVID-19 patients with more severe symptoms of the virus. Currently, there are 74 patients who are hospitalized across the country. Dr. Anthony said Region 4, which was once the epicenter for the pandemic last year, continues to record the highest number of infections. Of the 88 new infections recorded on Tuesday, Region 4 accounted for 47.
Currently, we have 74 persons who have been hospitalized across Guyana. We have 9 persons who are at the West Demerara Hospital. We have 3 persons who are at New Amsterdam Hospital and 3 persons who are in the Linden Hospital. The rest of persons are in the Ocean View facility. Of those who are at Ocean View, we have 15 patients that are in the ICU and they're receiving treatment. Those patients, we have to assist them with breathing. So that's what we have right now. In Region 4, there are some areas that we have seen cases, persistent cases. So on the East Bank, we have had for a number of weeks now cases in Diamond, Herstelling, Eccles. In Georgetown, we have seen cases in Kitty, Camberville, parts of South Ramvelt. So these are the areas in Georgetown that we are seeing cases. And on the East Coast, we have seen in Lusignan, Good Hope area, that we are getting a number of cases. So, but across the East Coast, across Georgetown, across the East Bank, there are cases. And we have also seen an increase in hospitalization. And I'm sure everybody has seen that we are also getting more deaths because the people who are coming into hospital, they're much sicker, and therefore we have more difficulties in managing these complicated patients when they come at this late stage to the ICU.
Now, the Prime Minister, Brigadier Mark Phillips, has commended the valiant efforts of Guyana's private sector in quickly accumulating millions in relief supplies for St. Vincent as the country battles the La Soufriere volcano eruption. The Prime Minister was at a time on a visit to the Munishwar's Wharf as members of the Civil Defense Commission, assisted by ranks from the Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard, packed the Miss Mina vessel with the supplies on Tuesday.
A commendable effort of collaboration between the government of Guyana and the private sector of Guyana. And when I say the private sector of Guyana, the Private Sector Commission, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Guyana Manufacturing Services Association, where we almost finished loading the boat, and that boat will depart Guyana with just about 310 tons of items that was listed. You know, the President had a call with the Prime Minister of St. Vincent. Colonel Craig from the CDC here has been in touch with the CDMA, the Caribbean Disaster Management Agency, and we basically use the list as a guide to put together the relief supplies that we're sending to St. Vincent. We place a lot of emphasis on water, so a lot of water is loaded, and a lot of sanitation and hygiene supplies are loaded there, and we have a lot of food stuff, of course with the emphasis on non-perishable food stuff. I wish to say that as Prime Minister, I am proud of Guyana, I'm proud of our private sector, I'm proud of this effort. I know the people in St. Vincent, they're resilient people, and the government has shown a lot of leadership in this disaster. I've been following the developments, and you know, in St. Vincent, they already cleared the roads from the ash. You know, vehicles are using the road. They're repairing the electrical system and the water system, and we are happy that as a sister CARICOM country, we are in a position to offer support in the shortest possible time to St. Vincent.
The Miss Mina vessel departed Guyana on Wednesday morning and should arrive in St. Vincent by Friday. The COI into attempts to rig the March 2 elections will start soon, and 2 new wells in Region 3 are expected to benefit thousands of residents. Those and more when the newsroom returns. This is the newsroom. President Irfan Ali this week said that a commission of inquiry into the events that unfolded in the 5 months after the March 2 general and regional elections will come soon. Kurt Campbell reports.
Just after he was declared president on August 2nd, and in a subsequent statement, President Irfan Ali promised a commission of inquiry into the attempts to rig the elections to keep the retired Brigadier David Granger and his coalition APNU-AFC in office and deny Ali and the PPP victory. The president said key figures in his government are working to ensure that the COI happens, although it was taking longer than expected.
You will have the COI into the elections, and we are working on that, but a lot has occurred over the last 7 months that we're dealing with, right? It is going to come, and it's going to come very soon.
The president spoke with the press earlier this week at the sidelines of an event held at the office of the president. He assured that he was not shying away from the commitment which thousands of Guyanese now rely on for closure into the events of the highly contested elections from which Dr. Ali and the PPPC emerged the winners.
So it is not us moving away from that commitment. That is going to happen. But there are so many other national and regional issues that we'll have to deal with. You know, it's taking more time than we expected, but it is coming.
Dr. Ali had promised the COI back in August 2020, shortly after being sworn in. He recommitted several times after, assuring that his government is committed to ensuring the will of the people is secure. He also outlined that the COI will be an international one to independently investigate what occurred and where the weaknesses in Guyana's electoral systems are. While the COI will provide recommendations for reforms to fix the electoral system, it will not interfere with the election petition filed by the APNU-AFC coalition and other ongoing court matters linked to the elections. The president has, however, indicated that through the COI, persons who attempted to obstruct democracy and the will of the people will be held accountable. On August 2, 2020, Chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, Justice Retired Claudette Singh, had officially declared Irfan Ali of the People's Progressive Party as the president of Guyana. The declaration of the results of the election came exactly 5 months after Guyanese went to the polls. A national vote recount showed the PPP winning the elections by over 15,000 votes, but the now ousted APNU-AFC had refused to accept the results and embarked on a campaign alleging fraud. There were also several election cases that reached all the way to the Caribbean Court of Justice. The last case, sponsored by the APNU-AFC, challenged the recount figures, but the Court of Appeal upheld the decision of Chief Justice Roxanne George that the national vote recount is valid and that the Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, as an employee of GCOM, must do as he is told. Lowenfield, along with several other staff of GCOM's Secretariat and members of the APNU-AFC coalition, are currently before the courts charged with matters relating to electoral fraud.
2 new wells are slated to be drilled in Region 3 Essequibo Islands, West Demerara, during the last quarter of 2021, benefiting over 20,000 residents in Lost and Russ, West Bank Demerara, and Parika Bagdam, East Bank Essequibo. Residents in those areas said they get water if it rains and from canals. The cost to construct the 2 wells will be about $195 million. Isnel Patwa tells us more.
For the first time, residents in Parika Back Dam and Lost and Russ will receive water supply from the Guyana Water Incorporated, GWI, with the development of 2 new wells. Residents for some time now have been complaining of the quality of water from canals and other sources.
It will benefit a number of persons, and we are hoping that this well will get the people in this NDC will have full service, better water.
Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell and GWI's Chief Executive Officer Sheikh Bash, along with technical officials, visited the proposed well sites on Tuesday and met with residents who will benefit. According to Minister Crowell, the wells will see an improved level of water service.
As part of the budgetary program for GWI this year, so we're here in Region 3, will be inclusive of the 2 sites that we visited, that is Lost and Russ and here at Parika Back, and that is for the drilling of wells. For here, on both areas, that we had to identify location and sites to have that well dug.
Additionally, water treatment plants will also be constructed in the near future to accompany the wells.
And that is in addition to wells, eventually for the placement of treatment plants. And so Lost and Rust is one of the priority area for GWI in terms of the water distribution network. So we are expecting by August that community and the environment too will benefit the entire, that by water should double by, we expect the pressure to double to what they're receiving now.
Meanwhile, GWI's CEO Sheikh Bash said some $195 million will be expended for the construction of both wells. The well at Lost and Russ is expected to be completed by August 2021, while the well at Parika Back Dam is expected to be completed by September. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isanela Patwo.
The main government laboratory catering for the livestock sector has been certified by the Guyana National Bureau of Standards. It is a key milestone as the industry looks to grow and eventually export meat. Details in this report.
At the Guyana Livestock Authority Laboratory, the GLDA, a simple ceremony with a big meaning. The Veterinary Services Laboratory has now been certified to the GYS170 standard, which covers the general requirements for the operation of a laboratory by the Guyana National Bureau of Standards. The GLDA has the only testing laboratory in Guyana for livestock, where it conducts testing to deliver services relating to livestock production, health, and genetics. This aids in protecting the gains of the sector through the provision of timely veterinary intervention and the infusing of local livestock with new genetics, which enables higher productivity and minimizes the threat of disease from internal and external sources. Dr. Grayson Halley, Chief Executive Officer of the GLDA, explained why the certification was so important.
We are gearing the industry for export, and for export we need certain key elements to be in place. Lab facilities just being one of them. Often we see veterinarians going to cases, responding to cases, and they do not do any post-mortem when we have a high mortality and those kind of things on a farm. They do not take samples, they do not do post-mortem, no sampling and those kind of things. So diagnostic, to be certain of what disease is affecting the animal is kind of uncertain. They cannot give the right advice if they are not sure what exactly is affecting the animal. Now that we have the veterinary service laboratory functioning, certified, and equipped to do what is necessary, we can now have more informed, more accurate diagnosis, and advice from our extension services can be more accurate and to the point.
Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa said that with Guyana now again championing the development of the agriculture sector, not only in Guyana, but the wider Caribbean, the certification was an important step for the GLDA to undertake.
I am happy to note that, as I said, that this year alone, we'll see for capital works in GLDA, we'll see almost $66 million will be expended to do new works in the sector, to enhance the sector, because, as I said, Guyana is on the rise. Guyana is on that path of progress. Guyana is on that path of prosperity, and the prosperity to progress agenda will have to continue and develop with places like these, like laboratory, so that we can do the kind of investigation, we can do the kind of tests, so that we can advance food security in the Caribbean.
Ms. Ramwati Karan, Executive Director Acting of the GNBS, encouraged the laboratory to continue utilizing the auditing, training and consultancy services of the GNBS as it pursues ISO 17025 accreditation. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Shakima Day.
Guyana is seeing tremendous response to its COVID-19 vaccination program, the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, revealed on Wednesday, noting that to date, a total of 67,524 citizens have received their first dose of the Sinopharm, Sputnik V, or AstraZeneca vaccine. Isnel Patwa reports.
Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony on Wednesday said the improvement in vaccination is due to the increase in the awareness and education campaign. He explained that in some instances, health workers have moved away from some of the fixed vaccination sites to visit communities. Dr. Anthony said that the ministry is working with various community groups to assist in dispelling rumors and myths about taking the vaccine. Currently, an assessment is ongoing in communities along the Berbice River to determine the population to begin rolling out vaccines.
And what we are trying to do is to work with different community groups in dispelling whatever myths they have and to try to get people to come out to the immunization centers. We have moved away from some of the fixed sites that we have. We have gone closer into the community, and I think that is working. So we will see improvement in those areas.
Health workers are also constantly being trained to better understand how the vaccine works, Dr. Anthony said, while noting that a major challenge globally is misinformation on the vaccines. Meanwhile, in a Facebook post, advisor to the Ministry of Health, Dr. Leslie Ramsamy, said by the end of this week, Guyana will have enough vaccines to provide 156,000 persons with their first dose. Furthermore, with more vaccines arriving in the following weeks, this number is projected to increase to 261,000. Guyana is expecting a third batch of the Sputnik V vaccines on Thursday. Already, 55,000 doses were received after Guyana purchased some 200,000 doses. The Sputnik V vaccine, like its Chinese counterpart, has a 28-day wait period for the second dose to be administered. The AstraZeneca vaccine, on the other hand, requires a 3-month dosage interval. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isanella Patwo.
When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bridge reports along with sports. Welcome back to Newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We start things off with some basketball news. Marquee player on the national men's basketball team, Delroy James, said he is under no pressure to perform given the level of expectations placed on his shoulders. Additionally, coach Junior Hercules said the players are ready for the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 America's pre-qualifiers in El Salvador. Akim Green has been following the team's preparations.
The 33-year-old James is a 6-foot power forward who most recently played for Prometheus Patras in the Euro Cup. Additionally, he has won the FIBA Champions League in 2018 and the FIBA Intercontinental Cup in 2019 and will for the first time represent Guyana. Speaking in Newsroom Sport before departure, James said he is not fazed by the high level of expectations to perform.
It's easy. Just play basketball. You just got to do something you've been doing for your whole life and just take it as it comes. Been working very hard for this opportunity and we just got to go improve ourselves.
The top 3 teams will advance to the second round of the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023, America's pre-qualifiers in July 2021. The other participating national teams include Costa Rica, El Salvador, Jamaica, and Nicaragua. James said the team is confident they can make it in July.
We just got to go there and take it a day at a time. You got to be confident in each game, but I don't know the rosters over there for the most part. I know some of the guys from Jamaica, but you just got to be confident every single game. People can't take anything slacking. Like, we can't slack on nothing and just continue to, all we got to worry about ourselves and continue to work hard.
James indicated he is committed to playing for Guyana in the future and wants to help Guyana to advance. Meanwhile, head coach Junior Hercules said the team is settling well since arriving on April 13th and it was a big blow not to have one of their players traveling due to testing positive for COVID-19.
We're generally okay. We've settled fine in terms of the delegation. In terms of the team more specifically, we're a little anxious, but that's a good feeling at this stage in the process. We've had our first practice last evening, and it was a very, I'll say, very intense, very spirited practice. And we are looking forward to our second practice today. It's never a good thing to lose any player, especially when you're prepared to have a 12-man roster. But nevertheless, we are a very deep team, and we expect other fellow players to step up. The roles are multifaceted, and it's generally a sad feeling specific to the COVID-19 requirement. As we prepare for our final task in terms of game strategy, I will simply say it's important for us to keep our turnovers limited, and in terms of our focus, it's paramount that we exercise a level of trust in fellow teammates. And I think if we're able to harness those two simple factors, we should be able to give ourselves the best chance of coming out with a W. We take no team for granted, and Guyana has an equal chance, just like any other team that is competing, to qualify for this World Cup.
Guyana will bounce off their campaign at 21 hours on April 15th against Nicaragua, followed by Jamaica on April 16th at 18 hours, El Salvador on April 17th at 21 hours, and Costa Rica on April 18th at 21 hours as well. All matches will be broadcast on the networks. For the Newsroom, Akim Green.
Cricket news now. West Indies' most successful Test captain, Sir Clive Lloyd, has taken legal action against the Guyana Chronicle for an article published earlier this year. The article, titled "Holder Has Outlived His Usefulness in the Position," carried a statement attributed to Lloyd, but his attorney, Ralph Thorne, is claiming that a legendary cricketer never spoke to the reporter. The article, published on March 13, 2021, claimed that Sir Clive had reportedly said Jason Holder, who was earlier this year relieved of the West Indies Test captaincy, had, quote-unquote, outlived his usefulness in the position. Sir Clive subsequently stated that he never spoke to the reporter, as he debunked claims made in the article. It was under Sir Clive's tenure that Holder was appointed West Indies captain 6 years ago, and the two have publicly spoken about their cordial relationship. Sir Clive's attorney, Ralph Thorne, speaking on the Mason and Guest radio show in Barbados on Tuesday evening, touched on the matter and the next course of action.
It is with great honor that I am representing Sir Clive Lloyd in association with Guyanese Council. And again, if the Chronicle or anybody at the Chronicle is hearing, let them understand that we are pressing ahead with that case on behalf of one of the great West Indians of the last 100 years. They understand who this man is. They understand the significance of 1975 and 1979. So again, Andrew, this case will be pursued with vigor to its very logical aim. And we will insist in a very public forum and a very public manner that justice should come to Sir Clive Lloyd. When it comes, it will come.
Appearing on a Mason and Guest show after the article was published, Sir Clive declared that he had never spoken to the reporter on the issue. The Chronicle subsequently retracted the article and issued an apology to Sir Clive, who said, and I quote, "Never said anything like that. I find it so disrespectful that people can do as they like, put your name on something and say you have said that. No, that is wrong. I have never said anything like that." End quote. Meanwhile, Thorne labeled Sir Clive a West Indian hero, and the content of the article is most unkind to the legendary Guyanese.
This region is what it is because we have some people called cricketers. This region derives much of its identity and much of its respect in the international community because of cricket. And therefore, because of our cricketers, you are not going to meet a more distinguished West Indian than Sir Clive Lloyd. And therefore, newspapers must be very careful how they portray our heroes. Sir Clive Lloyd is a West Indian hero, an authentic West Indian hero. And then a reporter is going to say to the world in an online edition that Sir Clive Lloyd spoke to him and quoted him. And I beg your pardon, he quotes Sir Clive Lloyd as having said that he disavowed, in the most vile language, well, indeed, in this context, that he disavowed Jason Holder. You know, that is unkind. That is unkind, not only because Sir Clive Lloyd is a West Indian hero, speaking about a West Indian captain, but Sir Clive Lloyd is a man entitled to his dignity. And Sir Clive Lloyd never said that.
Sir Clive Lloyd is one of the most respected former cricketers. Apart from his success in leadership in the Test format, he led West Indies to 50-over World Cup success in 1975 and 1979. Table tennis news. The 4 players representing Guyana at the Latin American singles and mixed doubles in Argentina, which serves as a qualification event for the Tokyo Olympic Games, lost their opening matches in contrasting fashion, but will have one final chance to qualify on Thursday. Akim Green reports.
After the first round of matches, 2 males and 2 females have qualified for the Olympic Games, and on Thursday, the final 2 spots for males and 1 for females will be filled. The breakdown means 2 males out of 22 and 1 male from the remaining 19 will make it to the Olympic Games. Chelsea Edgell, who was touted to have the best chance, narrowly lost to Mexican Monica Munoz in a 7-set thriller in the women's singles round of 32 on Tuesday. Munoz took the first 2 sets 11-5 and 11-8 before the Guyanese stormed back to level the game 2-all with 11-9 and 11-4 success. Munoz took the lead with 11-6 to win in the 5th game, but Edgell maintained a focus to draw level with an 11-8 win. The final set was hotly contested, with Munoz emerging the winner with an 11-9 scoreline. Early on Tuesday, Shamar Britton lost 4-2 to Alejandro Toranos of Paraguay, and Joel Allen succumbed 4-0 to Gustavo Gomez in the men's singles round of 32. Guyana's national champion, Natalie Cummins, lost 9-11, 6-11, 7-11 and 8-11 to Lucio Cordaro of the host nation, Argentina. Coach Eddie Lewis stated, open quote, "We are just up against much better prepared teams. There is a lot that goes into getting comfortable in these arenas if you're not actively practicing and competing in them, but I expect better results on Thursday, God willing. Thanks for all the love and support." End quote. Britain and Edgell will have a chance to qualify in the mixed doubles on Saturday when they battle a team from Ecuador. They are one of 13 teams battling for a spot. For the newsroom, Akim Green.
Now, spinner Shahbaz Ahmed took 3 wickets in an over to inspire a dramatic 6-run win for Royal Challengers Bangalore against Sunrisers Hyderabad in the Indian Premier League. Chasing 150 to win, Sunrisers were on course at 96 for 1 from 13 overs when David Warner holed out to long on for 54. They then lost 7 wickets for 43 runs, Johnny Bairstow, Manish Pandey and Abdul Samad all failing to Ahmed in the 17th over. Earlier, RCB scored 149 for 8 with Glenn Maxwell making 59 and Virat Kohli 33. Maxwell, who joined RCB from Kings 11's Punjab for the 3rd highest fee in this season's auction, scored his first half-century in the competition since 2016, and he built on a slow start that saw him score 9 of 16 balls before he and Kohli hit Shahbaz Nadim's final over for 22. His 41-ball innings contained 5 fours and 3 sixes, and his 27-run 7-wicket partnership with New Zealand quick Kyle Jamieson was crucial. In reply, Warner was composed, hitting through mid-wicket and covers regularly as he brought up his 53rd 50-plus score in the IPL. And Babar Azam made his first international T20 century as Pakistan cruised to a target of 204 and 9-wicket victory against South Africa. Captain Babar, who brought up his century of 50 balls with 11 fours and 4 sixes, eventually fell for 122. Wicketkeeper Mohammad Rizwan made 73 as the tourists won with 12 balls to spare to take a 2-1 lead in the 4-match series. Aiden Markram made 62 and Janaman Malan 55 in South Africa's 203 for 5. Babar, who ended Virat Kohli's 1,250-a-day reign at the top of the ODI batting rankings early on Wednesday, had scored 4 domestic and franchise centuries in T20s, and his first international one came in his 40th innings. It is Pakistan's fastest in the format, beating Ahmed Shahzad's 58-ball ton against Bangladesh in 2014. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. Of course, you can find updates on these and other stories on our website, Newsroom.gy, our Facebook page and Instagram. On behalf of the entire news team, my name is Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching. Be safe. See you next time.